it's me again, and I had promised that I was going to come back and do my makeup and maybe have a little bit of a chat with you guys. So here we go. I'm going to start with my primer. It's by Serafina, Alfalfa and Glaze. I just put a little bit on. I have to have a primer at my age now because it kind of just evens out my skin tone and kind of helps blend in the fine lines and all that. So I do need that. And let's see here. I just go ahead and put it on with a couple fingers. So this is all new for me. I've only been doing these little, I don't know if you call them podcasts or vlogs or whatever, for I guess a couple of months now, and I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with doing everything, but I still struggle some days. It's definitely something that is different for me, but for the most part, I'm enjoying it. I really do like getting into boxes and showing people all the cool things that I can get. And I don't know, I'm even thinking now about finding a little bit of a niche and going a certain direction that I wasn't going before, because I'm really loving the Korean aspect of skincare and makeup more and more as I dabble with it and everything. So I have a feeling that pretty soon my channel's probably gonna change over to more of more Asian and maybe Korean and Japanese kind of beauty products and skincare products. I've started to shop, and I have a Shopify now, and I also have I have a link tree also that's up, and I'm getting along with that and really trying to make a go with this. I'm married and 62 years old, and I have 16 grandchildren, and actually there is a great grandchild that's on the way, and my youngest grandbaby right now is probably about 3 weeks to a month old, a little boy. His name is Lucas, and I have another younger one. Her name is Layla, and she's 8 months old. And all my grandchildren are just wonderful human beings and all that, and doing a lot. My kids all grew up, and I feel like for the most part, I'm not disappointed in anybody. Everybody has ended up good, and I'm going to tell you, I was far from being a perfect parent. I made my share of mistakes, and for all the mistakes I've made, I think everybody's pretty good. The next thing I'm going to go into is my foundation, and my foundation is more of got an SPF 20. It's the Bella Pierre BB Cream Derma Review. I like this because it's not a really heavy formula, and I don't use that much. I put a little bit on my hand, and I get a little bit down here. And I know I probably do it a little bit different than some people do. Some people do their eyes first and then they do that, but I feel like, I can go ahead and put a lot of this on, and then at the end, if I have any of my eyeshadow or eye stuff has fallen, I can clean it up and just go back over it and fix it up. So and that's what I do. So this is the tone of this is light cool, and I got this from Ipsy. I'm a big Ipsy person, and I've certainly gotten to try a lot of different kinds of makeup by joining the Ipsy subscription, and I love subscriptions. I have subscriptions to a lot of different places, but I think that my first big subscription actually started with Ipsy, and it's kind of branched out from there. I tend to like things that are more like I like indie and organic, the vegan. I'm more attracted to the smaller companies and businesses, and I really like the fact that I can go and try makeups from small local businesses where women are just starting on their journey, and they just for a long time, women were not really able to have a business, and it's been pretty hard for women to come up in the business world like men have. And so if I have an opportunity to buy products from them versus a makeup company that's owned by men, not that there's anything wrong with men, it's just that I feel like, why not buy something from somebody that has probably had to formulate things and put them on her skin all her life, for most of her life anyway. So that's what I enjoy. I've always enjoyed makeup. I'll never forget, being 13 years old, and I really struggled in middle school. Well, we didn't have middle school, we had junior high, and I really struggled in junior high, and I felt like I was an ugly duckling, and I felt like nobody liked me, and I was just so ugly. And in fact, I remember one time sitting in school, and sitting on the steps in school, and my I think it was the vice principal, came out, and he saw me crying, and he's like, Susie, what's wrong with you? And I said, I'm just so ugly, and I think it's pretty hopeless, and I must be the most ugly girl in school. And I remember him laughing, and he said, in a year or two, there's going to be a lot of people knocking at your door. And of course, I didn't believe him, but he made me feel better. And then right after that, I started my journey with, I think I got my first makeup subscription from a company called Cosmopolitan. It was like a subscription makeup that you could get way back in the day, because I was like 13 when I ordered it. And they sent me like a big palette that had like lip gloss and eye makeup, and like a few eyeshadows and some blushes, and I made that work. And I remember putting it on and looking at my face, and I was like, wow, not too bad. I thought that I definitely thought that my face looked better with makeup versus not having makeup on. And so that started my long love affair with makeup. I've always liked makeup. I've found as I've gotten older that if you buy cheap junky makeup, you don't get as good of a look as, I'm not saying you have to spend a ton, but I've just found that when you take better care of your skin and the products that you're putting on your face, including makeup and all that, you just get a better result. Okay, so now I have my base cream on, and I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. And so with my eyebrows, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to brush them out. I use the Iconic. Let me go ahead and put my glasses on, because believe it or not, I've had eye surgery. About 2 years ago, I found out that I had cataracts, and I actually had the I guess they remove a portion of your eye and replace it, and they replace it. And so when they replace it, it helped my distance vision a lot, tremendously, because I couldn't see nothing in the distance before that. But my up close vision just it's just horrible now. So this is what I use. It's Iconic Brow Silk, and I just use that before I put my product on so that I can just smooth my eyebrows out. And so I just get a little bit of that on and brush my eyebrows. And so I'm going to put on some product after this. And so the next thing that I have is I have the NYX Zero to Brow Longwear Brow Gel, and this is in Auburn, so it has also a little brush there, and I'll use that when I'm done. But I like this because it's kind of like it's almost like the same kind of applicator that you get when you're putting lip gloss on, but it's a lot thinner, and so you can focus on your eyebrows. I did go in earlier and just put a little bit of a line of brow pencil on, because I usually can't see too good, and it would have looked funny with my mouth hanging open talking to you guys and all that. So I just put a little bit of this on there. I go very lightly with it. I have to do this because I absolutely have to wear eye pencils and use the gels and everything, because as I've gotten older, my eyebrows have really thinned out a lot. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if it's because I've gotten gray hair in my eyebrows or what, but one day I just looked up, and I always had nice thick eyebrows, and one day I just looked up and I was like, where's my eyebrows? What happened? So eyebrows just kind of disappeared, and it is what it is, and you get stuck with what you're stuck with, and hold on here. And that's just how it is. And so now I have to make sure that I always do my eyebrows, because I don't have any eyebrows if I don't do it anymore. And I used to have some eyebrows. I mean, I used to have eyebrows kind of like, remember Brooke Shields? I don't know if any of you are familiar with her, but Brooke Shields had some really nice thick eyebrows. That's the kind of eyebrows I had. In fact, back then everybody used to compare my eyebrows with her. They'd say, oh, you have eyebrows just like Brooke Shields. I don't anymore. They disappeared. All right, so I have my brows done. It's good enough for today because nothing really special or amazing going on. And so I'm gonna go ahead and go with I'm gonna go with my Diosa eye palette, and it's just because I have a subscription to Ice Cream. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It's a really awesome little business that's owned by Latin women, and they have a subscription that deals with basically mostly almost always makeup, and the box that I get always has a palette in it. And so the last time I ordered an extra palette along with the palette that was in the subscription box, and I'm loving this one. It's got some really beautiful colors in it. If you see that, isn't that beautiful? And so I'm going to go in with just a small brush, and I go in with a light color. It's just like a light beige right here. I'm going to put that on, and just a little bit, just to take out all the unevenness and all that. And so I really like this product, and this is also a women's own business that does these palettes too. In fact, the Ice Cream only typically deals with female-owned businesses too. So I really like their eye products quite a bit. And yeah, so I enjoy this, and I'm not going to go with anything dark today. I'm just staying home, and that's about it. And so that's the lighter base color that I'm going to go with. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is go with this. It's like a light purple right there. It's a shimmer, and I'm just gonna make that pretty light too. Now with the shimmers, a lot of times too, I start with a brush, and as I get closer down to my eyes, I start using my fingers, and I do my eyeliner last, and then just do one little final sweep of eyeshadow over that so that it kind of blends in. And that's just because that's always the way that I've done it. And, back when I was putting makeup on and when I started, a lot of times we had applicators and all that, but I think I remember putting most of my makeup on with my fingers. In fact, everything went on with my fingers, and sometimes I'm more comfortable putting all my makeup on with my fingers versus brushes, sponges, and all that. Although I do use brushes and sponges a lot more than I used to. So this is pretty light. And so I will take this, and because it gets like excess off, I don't want it very heavy. So now I think I'm going to go in with, this is kind of like a purpley teal that's mixed up together right here. See right there? I really like that color. It's kind of effervescent. I mean, kind of, effervescent color, and kind of chrome. It's kind of like chrome. It changes around a little bit and all that. So I really like that one too. And I'm gonna go down with that. Use that down towards the bottom because it's a little bit darker. And then I'll probably go in with that that turquoise or tealish down at the bottom, and I'll use my finger to put that on. And then there we go. If you hear little clicks and running, I have cats everywhere right now. I have 3 cats of my own, and a friend of mine had some issues come up and needed me to step forward and take care of her animals too. So I have her cats as well. So right now we have 6 cats in our house. It's just crazy. You have to scoop the litter box several times a day, and they go through water like mad. I don't know. It seems to me like my cats go through water a lot more in the winter or in the cold months than they do in the spring and summer. I don't understand that. They're not going outside. They're all indoor cats and all that, but for some reason they just really go through. They really go through that water. They go through that water in the winter. I don't know why. I love this color. In fact, this palette, I'm really feeling this palette. It's very pretty. It's not too, it's pigmented, but it's not too overly pigmented. So, and I like that I can just kind of go in there and build it up too. So I'll probably go up under my eyebrow with a little bit of white, and just because I like to, put a little bit of white highlighter underneath the bottom part of my brow. So I don't know, you guys may notice that I have a scar over my eye, and I'll tell you the story about that. When I was much younger, I went through a really crazy time in my life where I made very bad decisions about relationships and people that I got involved with. I also had a drinking and a drug problem back then too. And I felt like I was a bad person, and I felt like it was okay to physically hit me back then. And so I had a guy that seemed to like to express his feelings by putting his hands on me. And one day he took an ashtray and slammed it in this eye. And it was so bad. I didn't know it that night, but it was so bad that he hit it so hard that it went down to the bone, and my eyelid was hanging down. And And I didn't know it until the morning. I called my girlfriend up in the morning, and I was like, he hurt me. And she was like, I'm on my way. And she drove like 100 miles to get to me and all that. And she took me to the hospital. He never took me to the hospital. And she took me to the hospital. I walked in, and in the hospital, they were like, "Oh, what happened?" And I lied and said that I fell down, and and then in the end, they heard me talking to my friend and figured out that that wasn't the truth. That this guy knocked the crap out of me and put his hands on me and cut my eye open. And then after that, I did not leave him. I stayed with him. And he actually put his hands on me again, and he punched me in the face and busted my lip open. And that was the last straw for me. I walked off and left him. And did I stay away from relationships like that after that? No, for a long time. I would say for a good 10 years. I felt guilty about things that were going on in my life, and I thought that it was perfectly fine and acceptable for someone to put their hands on me, because I didn't like myself at that time. And it's kind of a funny thing. I had gone through a lot of stuff when I was young, and I'm not going to go into that. But I just felt like, I don't know, back then I felt like it was, I was just not a good person, and it was okay to put your hands on me. But I'm going to tell you now that I'm older, it's never okay for anybody to put their hands on anybody else. And if somebody's doing that to you, you need to talk to somebody and find a safe way to get out and go away, because there's no way that anybody would ever put their hands on me again. And, like I said, when I was young, I had a lot of unhealthy relationships. Well, I'm in a very healthy relationship now. I have a very good husband that he would never touch me. And it took me quite a few years to find this one. So I think I'm going to keep him. And that's the story of my scar. And could I fix it and make it go away? I could have done that a long time ago. But I think that I chose not to do this, and I chose to keep it because it's part of my history and it's part of what makes me me. And so, yes, I have a scar over my eye, and I'm always going to have that. And it'll always be a reminder to me that I'm not a bad person, and nobody has the right to put their hands on me, and I won't let them do it again. And so that's the story of the eye. And so I think I have enough eyeshadow on now. And so I'm going to go into my, I have a fatter eyeliner, and I'm going to go with that. It's like a navy. And this is, I think this might be Bella Peep. No, this is Pear Nova. It's Pear Nova, and it is azurite. So I'm going to go into that. And like I said, I like to put my eyeliner on last. And this is really kind of an eyeshadow stick, but I'm going to use it for eyeliner because I love like blues and like maroons and like brighter colors for eyeliner too. So I'm not going to do too much with it. I'm not going to make it real heavy. I might go over with a liquid eyeliner on top of it, but I might not, because I don't feel like I need to like go crazy with makeup today. And so now I'm going to go up under. Just So, I don't know if any of you have had an experience with allowing yourself to be in bad relationships when you were now or when you were younger. I'd love to hear about it if anybody has a story that they'd like to share with me. I'm sure myself and other people would love to hear your story and find out if you have been able to heal and get past that portion of your life. I definitely have moved past everything. And see, this is kind of like not like that. And now I have another thinner eyeliner. And sorry, like I said, once again, I have to, now that since I had that cataract surgery, I have to put glasses on because I can't see nothing. And one of my, I don't know if it was my last video or the video before that, I started watching myself, and I even had my contacts in, and I was squinting with my contacts. So tomorrow I have an appointment with an eye doctor to, I'm probably going to have to get stronger up close contacts. So hopefully the next time I won't have to wear my glasses, and I'll have my contacts in and I won't be squinting. I didn't know I was squinting that much, but I could have taken the video down, but I didn't want to put the video down because that's me, and you know, I'm a human and these things happen. So here I have the the cream multicolor pen. I can't read it. Well, it's a pretty blue pen. What color is this? It's blue. Well, I can't find it, but trust me, it's like a blue kind of like a navy blue. And so I'm going to go up under my eyes with this next. So yeah, it took me a lot of years and treatment to finally start accepting myself and loving myself, and realize that yes, I wasn't perfect. I made a whole lot of mistakes, but you have to step back and start forgiving yourself and allow yourself to heal. So if you guys have been through that, let me know. So yeah, I really do like this color too. I'm really trying to get away from dark eyeliners. I used to only wear blacks, and I'm basically just kind of more or less staying away from them for the most part now. You know, if I move my eyes in a certain direction, you can see a shine from my, I guess the lenses in my eyes, they're glass, and you can see a reflection on them. I noticed that. I'm gonna go over the top again. The top here, that's good enough. And I have this handy dandy mascara. It's Sky High by Lash Sensa. Let's see. Lash Sensational by Maybelline. A Maybelline mascara. Sometimes you can't beat those old tried and true ones. I like the applicator on this. It doesn't put really tons of product on your eyelashes, but it allows you to go ahead and build them up. So let's see. What do you guys think in my channel you would be interested to see or know about? Would you guys be okay with me changing my niche maybe a little bit and maybe going over to more Korean and Asian types of product? Because I kind of like that glow. Or would you be interested in more higher end products? Now, I will definitely continue doing my subscription boxes, and my subscription boxes are I do the Ipsy and FabFitFun, ice cream, Beauty Fix by Derm Store. And if you guys know of some that you'd like to see, go in my comments and let me know, please. I would definitely be open into exploring other boxes. And so this is the blue mascara. I like it. What do you think? I only remember, I just saw this the other day, and I only remember like having colored mascaras back in the mid 80s. That was a long time ago, and then they all kind of went to blacks and browns and all that. Up until recently, I just wore I used to wear a lot of black eyeliners and mascaras and all that. Now as I've gotten older, I've gone to browns, and I'm trying to tone that down, because when you're my age, a lot of times when you just do like black mascara and eyeliner, it makes you look a lot older. I don't know why. It's not bad. My eyelashes are probably as long as they're gonna get without any extensions, and I'm not really the extension type of, the fake eyelashes. I don't really put them on and all that. I tried to put on some maybe about a month ago, and I was a train wreck. It didn't look too good. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take a highlighter, and I saw this trick on a gentleman that was telling people how to maybe tone down your fine lines and all that, and maybe lines that you don't really like to look at or anything. So what I do is I am going to take some, I have by the Natasha Denona, I have the Pastel Flexi Glow highlighter. And what I do is I'm going to go to any of the things I kind of want to have less focus on. So I go right here on this line right here, and those are just my smile lines and all that. So I put a little bit of a highlighter on that, and trust me, it kind of does work a little bit. And so then I do a little bit of highlighter down my nose, and I'm going to stop there for right now, and then I'm going to get my concealer. I do not use a lot of concealer. I just use enough. Okay, so I'm just going to go for a little bit right here and right here. I put some here and here, and then I put a little bit down here because as I've gotten older, it's kind of a little bit discolored down there. So I put some there. And that's about all I'm going to do with the concealer. Now I'm going to take my finger. I'm not going to take anything fancy. And I'm just going to like tap, tap, tap. This is just to get enough product under my eyes to take away like the, I don't know, I don't guess it's like bags or anything, but I don't want to define my I don't want to make the lines look that noticeable. So I just go in with my finger and tap, tap, tap with that. I go up in here, and then I'm going to do same thing on this side. Less is more. I remember my mom used to say that, and boy, I used to put a lot of makeup on, and it's amazing. I'm doing so much stuff now, like my mom did it, and I used to laugh at my mom for doing it that way. that funny how life goes in a cycle and you end up being exactly like your parents. And I always said I'd never be anything like my mother when I say a lot of things that my mama said. That's funny. Okay, and so I'm going to go in with my blush, and I have two kinds. I'm not sure if I'm going to use... I have the Medusa's makeup because I have a Medusa subscription as well, and I kind of like that. It's not too overly dark. And then I also have a palette here too by Pear Nova, cheek palette. That's that one too. So what I usually do is put on a little bit of that and that. I think I'm gonna go with the lighter one today. Yeah. So what I'll do is just put a little bit of this. Now I don't go down too far, so I'm gonna put a little bit of blush. I go up. I'm not going down too far these days. When you go down further, which is how I always used to do it, it kind of drags my face down. And so and I need this. This is this is my Fenty Beauty. It's my Fenty Beauty Amber. It's my bronze stick, and I just use that like the bottom of my jawline, and I just put a little bit underneath my blush just to give me a little bit of definition there. And then I do that all on the bottom. And so right here, I'm gonna go one line here, one line over here, a little bit on the top. And then I need my sponge for that. So I'm just gonna okay. And then all right. All right, and then take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury. I just put a little bit. Whoop, whoop. I like Charlotte, but man, she's expensive. I don't have a whole lot of her stuff. I've had, I do have some of her foundation, and do I have anything else? Yeah, that, and I have some of her sticks and all that, the little, what are these called? The Beauty Light wands. I like those. I used to have a lot more of her stuff, but, and I've been very disappointed with her advent calendars the past few years. I think that she charges a lot of money for her advent calendars, and and she doesn't have a whole lot of full-size product. And so nowadays I feel like everybody is looking for bang for their buck, and they want, they prefer to have a little bit of they'd rather have stuff with full-size stuff in it, especially like with my subscription boxes. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of highlighter here, and that would be it for that. And then I have, I don't remember, I think this might be Galactic, or it might not be. No, this is Ofra. So I have a highlighter that I really like a lot in the middle, and I use that. I'll just be using that on the tip of my nose. And then I will also put a little bit of that here. And the last thing I do is I'm going to set it with that, and then I'll be doing my lips. So I use the Ofra. I think this one is the Ofra Pure Matte Finishing Powder, and it's fair. I like it because it kind of blurs my skin a little bit. I don't use a whole lot. I'm just going to be doing a little bit right here, and then going down. Just want enough to I don't want to highlight my lines. And I think I'm going to go with just a little bit of, I'm not going to go very dark with my lips. Okay, so I have, this is by the British Museum, ZC, and the color is, I don't know if I have the color on here. I love the color though. And it's a little, well, until I did that, it was a little hard. Hold on here. Just put a little bit there. I am not going to go too far over to the sides of my mouth, because as you get older, when you put your lipstick or lip liner over too far, it drags your mouth down and it makes you look older. So I'm not going to do that. And so that's going to be good enough for that after I blot it. It's a little dark, but And so the last thing I'm going to use is this lip gloss by Natasha. Well, almost the last thing. The lip gloss by Natasha Denona, Golden Glimmer Gloss. Because everybody likes sparkles, right? Perfect. So now I'm going to take this out. And I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, this is my finished look for tonight. I am going to go and do my nails because my nails are ganked up today, and I'll be back this evening, and I'm going to do a couple of subscription boxes. I think I'm going to do my last remaining Korean advent calendar and a subscription box. So that's all I have for right now. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Oh, have a good day. Like and subscribe.